What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. It is a week-ending episode of the Level 1 podcast. And what a week it's been. We finished up Doom the Dark Ages yesterday, and today I would like to talk thoroughly about that, my overall thoughts, and kind of like a final summary review of what I thought about the game after beating it on the Ultra Violence difficulty. But in addition to that, there's a lot more going on. Today, if we hit a support goal, it's time for Red Robin on DSP Tries It. Today, we're going to be looking at some game news and or trailers to end the week. So it's going to be a great show full of variety and fun. Stick around. You won't regret it. Let's get it started. It's time for a week-ending episode of the Level 1 podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
Good morning. I'm DSP. This is the Level 1 podcast. Welcome to the show, everybody. Looks like my front of my hair is sticking up today. I'm going to get that under control. Today's Friday, May 23rd, 2025. I am excited for today. Today is going to be a great day because we beat Doom the Dark Ages. So we don't have to play it anymore. So we can play other stuff. Isn't that great news? It is for me. Let me tell you, it legit is for me because a game like that, especially because I chose to play it on the harder difficulty, it was like ball crushing at the end there. It really was. At the same time, some people have said, well, why did you keep playing it? And the answer is because it was actually an enjoyable experience overall. We'll talk about that. I'm going to give you my full opinion on Doom the Dark Ages on this very show. So if you're wondering for yourself if you should check it out or, what did I think about it compared to the last two, you will find out. All right. Now, in addition to that, because we beat Doom the Dark Ages, today we can have a more chill and relaxed atmosphere, and we can actually sit back and do a nice relaxing stream of Blueprints, which I've been waiting for to play more of. We've only been playing Blueprints for like once a week, which is not enough in my opinion. When you're playing a game, you want to be able to make good progress in it. And every time we play Blueprints, we do. We unlock a new mystery. We solve a previous one. We find out the next clue of the next big thing that we should be doing. But we never really have enough time to make more than one stream a week now for the past month. And so because of that, it's definitely been very slow going. I'm excited to be able to do an extra stream of Blueprints this week. And in fact, probably next week we'll do more of the same. So that way we can actually try to see if we can get near the end. This game is incredibly lengthy when you count how many different things there are to do in it with these mysteries ongoing and everything, right? So I'm happy for that. I'm very happy that tonight we're going to be doing Capcom Fighting Collection 2 and more Capcom versus SNK 2. Because we beat Doom, we may have time to do extra streams of that next week and maybe play other games. That collection has a ton of games, but we've only played it 3 times. So, you can't really make advancement and progress if you're only playing it so little. So maybe we'll have some extra streams of that, right? I'm pretty excited for what's coming up. Next week, by the way, Elden Ring Night Reign, if you're not aware, is coming out. And we'll talk about that today because there's some weird stuff going on with the release timing of it. And I don't know why, but apparently on PC, it's coming out earlier and I'll be able to play it the day before, which is odd, but I'm not complaining. Play a little earlier, play it Thursday night. Yeah, that sounds good to me, right? So, I hope that you guys are excited for for the fun coming up gameplay-wise because we beat Doom. But also today we got a few things that we may or may not get to. There's a few game trailers that have come out in the last couple of weeks that I haven't really checked out, and I've been recommended, hey, you should check these out. So I have them lined up here to watch today, and if we have time, we'll check them out and see, if these games look any good. I've heard some good things about some upcoming games, but I just haven't, really sat down to look at stuff. So there you go. But before we get to any of that, I've already got this pinned in both chats. Okay, ladies and gents, we are at 79 out of 80 support goals hit. You guys have been absolutely amazing this week. We have hit support goals almost every single stream. We missed 2, but then we doubled up. So we caught up last night, and now we're at 79. So that means that right now on this very stream, if we hit a support goal by 2 p.m. Pacific time, and I'll explain why in a second, we'll be doing DSP Tries It Red Robin for the very first time. I'll be ordering special nachos. I'll be ordering some kind of a burger with a side and a special drink as well. They have a summertime drink that I want to check out. So I'll be doing all of that. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute. Why, what, 2 p.m.? That's weird. Why do we have to hit the goal by 2 p.m.? Aren't you streaming later than that? And the answer is yes, I'm actually streaming until 4 p.m. as usual. I'm not cutting the stream short or anything. But the reason that I need to know by 2 p.m. is very simple. If we're not getting Red Robin today, my wife has to cook dinner. And she already has everything lined up to make like a baked chicken dinner, but it takes a while to make, so she needs the time to do it. Therefore, we need to know if we're doing Red Robin or not. If we are, then she's not doing that today, and we're holding off. But if not, she has to start work on dinner. You see? So, if you've liked all the content that I have done over the last week, you like the fact that I toughed it out in Doom Eternal, and I played on the ultra-violence difficulty, and I never changed the difficulty, despite what moronic idiots on the internet were trying to say. They do it every time, too. Every single time that I play a game that's known to be difficult, but I'm actually beating it and doing well, they say things like, oh, he changed the difficulty behind the scenes. That's why, you don't know, he made it easy mode. They're functional idiots. You know what I mean? Like, they can't tie their own shoes. They probably can't wipe their own asses. But they're so dumb that they believe this nonsense. They actually think, oh, yeah, Phil just, behind the scenes, he changes the difficulty of every game, so it's an easy cakewalk for him. First off, if I did, it wouldn't matter. Do you understand? I can play a game however I want. I'm not in competition with anyone. I wasn't in a speed run challenge. I wasn't trying to prove that I was the best Doom player on the planet. So I don't actually see what the point is. There is none. But that's the thing. They try to hyper-focus on little innocuous, meaningless things and act like they're important and then exaggerate them to make a mountain out of a molehill. You get it? So even if I was playing Doom the Dark Ages and I said, I think it's too hard, I'm going to dumb down the difficulty so I can do it, it would be fine. But no, of course not. Oh, Phil changed the difficulty. So yesterday, it was actually Morning After Kill, who's in the chat here, who had said, Phil, can you show us the difficulty? And I showed everyone I didn't change it. And then all the narrative falls apart. Now, does anyone get taken to task for lying about that on the internet and saying that Phil did that? Of course not. That's fine, because it was Darkside Phil, so we can all just say whatever we want about him. And then when we're proven wrong, we're already on to the next thing that we made up, right? So, no, I didn't dumb it down. I beat it on the harder difficulty. I didn't take too long to beat it. Like people are like, oh, he's going to take like an hour on the final boss. No, I would say the next to last boss was actually quite challenging. Because you had 3 phases and you had to learn a lot of like timing and phases of the fight. But for the most part, I liked it. And I'll talk about this. I'm going to do like a final thoughts review now on the show to let you know I didn't have any issue really with any of the final bosses or anything like that. I actually thought it was quite well done. So yeah, we wrapped it up, and because of that, I'm happy. It's a big challenging thing to do. And it's kind of relieving now that it's over and we can have more relaxing times for the next week or so, There you go. Morning After Kill says you took your lumps, you got fucked up a bit, but you made it through the gauntlet of bosses. Fair enough. That's a fair description right there. Certainly, I didn't coast through and one-shot it, but at the same time, I learned, I adapted, I persevered. That's the true value of playing a difficult game and actually winning is you learn and you persevere, right? Right. And then you feel like you accomplished something. Sometimes if you just coast through something that's difficult with no real adversity, no challenge, you just beat it, like one shot it, it doesn't really feel like you really did much, right? It's more like you're faced with a challenge, it is tough. And so what you do is you take your time to slowly learn what you're supposed to do. You adapt, you get better at it, then you win. Then it feels like you've accomplished something, right? And that's how it felt beating those bosses. So probably why I liked it so much. We got some support coming in. I want to double check. Let me take a look at some stuff here. What the heck is this? So let me get this straight. This person is rebroadcasting me on their channel right now. No exaggeration. They're rebroadcasting me in a negative way. They also apparently rebroadcast Review Tech. They rebroadcast Ethan Ralph. Yeah, they rebroadcast a lot of people. And now they're going to gift memberships. Well, I mean, is this your way of, I guess, purchasing your ability to make fun of me? I'm just curious. This guy's name is Hausmeister. Like, he's literally rebroadcasting the podcast right now, which, by the way, is illegal. You can't do that. Without express permission, you cannot live rebroadcast someone. It just is illegal. It's copyright infringement. Okay? So, here they come. I mean, I can't stop these memberships from coming in. But considering that this guy rebroadcasts me illegally in a negative way, you know, can you even trust it? Or are these fake? They're probably fake. Do I accept his apology? What apology? He didn't apologize. He's broadcasting right now. I checked out his channel. It says he's live. Yeah, are they trying to purchase a restreaming license? Who is this person? Are you in chat? I want to get the story. This is interesting. This has never happened before. This is Hausmeister. Hausmeister, speak up. Speak up in chat. I want to hear your story. I want to know why you're here. I want to know why you're rebroadcasting me, and I want to know why you sent me these memberships. I want an explanation, and then I'll make my decision on what I'm going to do. But you must speak up. The king commands and demands a response. Anyway, while I'm waiting for them to respond because they haven't yet, there's a couple tips to shout out here. We got a $1 tip from Big Larry Gaming. Are you or your wife going to play Fantasy Life? I played a couple hours of it. It seems to be a good chill playthrough. Even if you don't play it on stream, I would recommend it. What is Fantasy Life? I don't think that rings a bell. Is that new? Fantasy Life? Fantasy Life the Girl Who Steals Time. The game is incredible. A slow life RPG. You freely switch between 14 unique jobs. Did it just come out? It's on Steam. It literally just came out like a few days ago, 2 days ago. Huh. Really? All right, I will. We were already going to check out a bunch of game stuff today. So I will, well, maybe we'll watch that trailer, Fantasy Life. I'll check it out. I already had like 3 other trailers to watch today, so we'll see. Thanks for the recommendation. Okay. King Ferb says, I went to the channel. It is a trollish person, but these are legit memberships, and he's being made fun of in his own chat for doing it. Well, that's messed up. Listen, anyone can spend their money however they want. If this person is restreaming me illegally, but then decides, hey, I want to drop some subs or memberships or whatever it is, they have the right to do that, and anyone who criticizes them is a lummox. That's correct, a lummox. All right, if they're legit, I guess I'll count them. So 5 gifted memberships from Hausmeister. I certainly don't appreciate rebroadcasting live because that steals viewership. It really is bad to do that. But at the same time, um, at the same time, uh, you did actually contribute, which is kind of nice that you did something to say, hey, I'm taking your content, so I'll pay you for it, right? So we'll count them. 5 gifted memberships. That's $15 of support. We'll add that to that tip, so now we're up to 16. Thank you. Okay. You have purchased a restreaming license today. There you go. How about that? You can officially purchase a pre-streaming license from me for the low, low price of $15. How about that? Anyone who pays $15, you've officially purchased a restreaming license and you are no longer a criminal. As so, the king's edict, $15 must be paid as a tie in order to restream the king. How dare you? If you do not purchase a restreaming license, you're in violation of the royal law. And therefore, I will send the knights to your house, and they will shove their lances up your assholes. It is daily, correct. Daily, $15 restream license. And you can blame Hausmeister, because Hausmeister decided to gift the 5 memberships for it. So it's Hausmeister's fault. $15 restream. You must purchase. There you go. Anyway. All right. So there you go. Another tip came in. I got a $3 tip, an anonymous tipper. Do you have a favorite voiceover for a game you did? I think your Undertale is most memorable. So you mean like when I did voice acting for a game? I think the most memorable is actually when I did Phoenix Wright, because in Phoenix Wright, I actually had certain voices for certain characters. Like, remember the detective? Isn't his name Detective Gumshoe or something? Like, I would always do the voice like this. Oh, what's up? What's up, Ace? What's up, Phoenix? I would talk like that. You know, I'd always have an actual voice for certain characters. And I would go back to the voice later on, and reference it so people would remember who the character is and stuff. So I would say Phoenix Wright. But the thing is, I've only played, like, I think 3 Phoenix Wright games ever. I think I did 3 Phoenix Wright games ever. And if you say, well, I wonder why. Well, it's because they're so long. The Phoenix Wright games are so long that, number one, they take too long to finish as a streamer. Okay, to be honest, they just do. You know, you're talking weeks and weeks and weeks of playing. Sometimes it took 2-3 months to finish them. And then number 2, because there's so much voice acting required, they don't have voice acting in them. I would lose my voice. That actually happened during one of the Phoenix Wright playthroughs. I was reading so much, I lost my voice for like a week, and I was like, how am I going to work now? And it was really rough. Okay. So in that regard, you know, that's probably my favorite. To do the Phoenix Wright playthroughs. I think I did 3. I did the original one. I think I did 3. What are they all called? Wasn't one Trials and Tribulations, right? I think that's like the 3rd one. I can't remember what they were all called, but I played 3 of them. Okay. Outside of Phoenix Wright, what games have I done voices on? Many different ones. Whenever I do like an old school RPG, like I remember when I did the old Final Fantasy games, like Final Fantasy 6 and stuff, I would do them. What else? Usually it's got to be a game where the dialogue has to be read. So just think, what kind of games? Any visual novel that doesn't have voice acting that I've played, old school RPGs, that kind of stuff. That's where I would do it. So Justice for All, yeah. So I did 3 of them. I think I did the first one, Justice for All, and Trials and Tribulations, the first 3. And that's where I stopped. No, I'm not officially in the games. It's me doing voice acting in my videos for the characters during the playthroughs. No, I've never been offered voice acting, nor would I want to, because number one, I've heard the voice acting, you know, not community, but what's the word? You know, to get into voice acting, that whole thing is similar to real acting, where you got to know people, you got to have an agent, you got to be shoulder to shoulder, you know, rubbing elbows with the right people. And I'm not that kind of person. Not once in my life have I kissed ass to get anything. I'm just, you know, I'm actually kind of the antithesis of that. You know what I'm saying? So I would never be able to make it in that community. I know I wouldn't. Okay. Okay, continuing on. Hold on. I have received an incredibly generous, over the top, incredible contribution. $100 has just come in from NDO 103. And his message says, "This is NDO 103. Thank you, NDO 103, for an incredibly generous tip of $100. That is amazing. Let's get you on the leaderboard. With that tip, we have skyrocketed to $119 of support. A mere $31 left to do Red Robin. DSP tries it today. Apparently, NDO really wants to see my opinion on Red Robin. And can you blame him? Can you blame NDO? I don't blame him. I think that it's going to be fascinating. And by the way, once again, I just want to say to all the idiots out there who continuously say, Bill, DSP tries it sucks. It's not interesting. Stop doing it. Then why do we hit the goal? Then why does the show continue? Why do people get excited? Why do people come on stream and be like, hey, did you know that there's a new meal at this place that you could try? Because they like it. Because they like it, dummies. What it is people don't want to see me be successful. So they'll come on my streams and they'll act like LARPers. They'll LARP as fans and be like, oh, we don't like DSP tries to do something different. And I do something different, it doesn't work. People don't like the different things I've tried. I would say the one thing that worked is we did a Lego night. That was nice because then we ended up building a few different Lego builds, as you can see. But then that died out of popularity too. So really, this DSP tries it idea has worked for how many months? Ever since I started doing these tiered rewards, they've been working well. Morning after kill, I can't do that kind of stuff. I stream too much, and I would never be able to do that because people would probably try to show up and mess with my content. That's why I don't do any IRL content. I can't. I mean, I'm too old for that shit anyway. I'm in my 40s. I'm not going to run around acting like an idiot making content. You know what I mean? I keep saying to everyone, my content is limited to in this room. Whatever I can do within the confines of my office/studio, that's what I do. All right? Anything outside of here, I'm putting my family, myself, and the community at risk because there's too many idiots who actually would try to come after me and do dumb shit. I'm not saying that it would be like a threat to my life. I'm just saying they would try to fuck with me. They would try to mess with the video. They would try to, this is not worth it. So that's why I don't do IRL content. I'm never going to do IRL content. Okay? Perhaps you're a newcomer to the situation and you're not aware about the level of harassment that my family and I have gotten over nothing. So, yeah, I don't blame you. Okay. So, with that ginormous tip, $119 of support, 31 to go to unlock DSP Tries It Red Robin on this very stream. Let's go. Who's going to be the first sub over on Kick today? Who's going to be the first juicy super chat on YouTube today? Let's hit that goal right now. Let's do it. For the record, we already know what the next DSP Tries It's going to be. The next DSP Tries It is going to be the brand spanking new How to Train Your Dragon meal from Burger King, including the new Dragon Whopper, the fiery mozzarella fry side. I don't even know what it is, but it's a new thing. They totally designed it from the ground up. A drink, some special drink, and a Viking sundae. So I'm going to try the whole meal if we, when we hit the goal next week. Okay, that comes out Tuesday, I think, or Monday. So I think it was the 23rd, 24th, 25th. I think this was the 27th it's coming out, so Tuesday. So as early as Tuesday, we could do that. All right, that's the next one. But let's hit Red Robin now. Let's do it today. Very nice. Okay. For the record, I've never seen How to Train Your Dragon. I've never seen the movie. The animated one, or, obviously I didn't see the new remake yet. I haven't seen the animated one either. I know it was very popular and they had a sequel or two sequels and, it was a big series. I've never seen it. So I don't know if it's any good or not. Okay. All right. So let us now move on to our various topics, shall we? To the first topic. All right. The first topic is going to be Doom: The Dark Ages. Let's get this out of the way. Doom: The Dark Ages, the latest installment of Doom, released on Monday of last week for those who paid extra, that's me, or Thursday of last week for those who just got it on Game Pass or standard release, okay? The game is 22 chapters long. The chapter lengths vary greatly. And what I mean by that is some chapters are quite short. Notably, there's chapters where you're walking around in a giant mech, kind of like a Megazord or Voltron or a Gundam or something like that. And those stages are like 15 minutes long. You just walk around doing some combos, superpowered punch, a gun every once in a while. You're done. It's pretty simple. But then there's other stages where you're flying on a dragon, and those stages actually are quite lengthy because you have to fly around doing aerial combat. Then you land, and there's actually standard Doom-like stages, and usually these stages have a lot of locations to land, so they're on the longer side. I think the longest stage in the game for me was about an hour and a half, but some of the stages are as short, like I said, as 15 minutes. So it varies greatly, okay? The game plays very differently from Doom Eternal. If you play Doom Eternal was based on this kind of rock, paper, scissors style gameplay. Do one thing to gain ammo. Do the next thing to gain armor. Do the next thing to get your health back. Then build up your rage meter. Do the big berserk combo. And then go back to the drawing board doing the rock, paper, scissors again, right? That was the game. And as long as you free float it like that, the game was pretty simple but effective. You could tear through endless legions of enemies and, be successful. In regards to Doom: The Dark Ages, the game is based more around weapon mastery. For example, you have a shield that you need to be constantly parrying with. And if you parry effectively, you can stun enemies and then do kind of counter combos. But in addition to that, you can throw the shield, and the shield can actually break through certain armor, but also can stun certain enemies. And every single weapon in the game has multiple forms and or can level up in certain ways that allow that weapon to be utilized in a special method. So I'll give you an example. The rocket launcher. Everyone loves the rocket launcher. It's super powerful. It's a giant missile. It blows up. It does lots of damage. It's very effective. It's very satisfying when you blow something up and all their limbs rip off, right? The problem with the rocket launcher is splash damage. If you're too close to an enemy and use the rocket launcher, you take damage from the launcher as well as the enemy. Well, there's an ability that you can level up based on collectibles and items you find in the game where you can make it that if you parry an enemy's attack, then you can immediately use the rocket launcher and the splash damage becomes splash healing. It'll actually recover your health instead of taking it away. So now it makes this incredibly effective, you see? So that's kind of how Doom: The Dark Ages works. You got to master the shield and the parrying system, but then you can master each of the weapons and level them up in a way where they have these extra abilities that make them extra effective. The best way to play the game, in my opinion, is to get a variety of weapons, say 3 or 4 weapons you really like, but know how to go between them in certain situations. For example, the plasma gun is really effective against non-armored enemies, but as soon as you run into an armored one, now you need a weapon that can remove armor. See, you'll have to be switching it up constantly over the course of the game. Now, there's also a shield charge mechanic. This is the way that you'll actually move very fast in the game and essentially be able to stay alive. Otherwise, you don't really move that quickly in this game. There is no dash or dodge. There's a run, which means you move a little faster on your feet, but there's no actual, jump to the side, you see? So what you have to do is parry a lot, and then when you're getting mobbed, dash away, so that way enemies can't mob you and hit you from behind. So the shield dash is very important to the game. A lot of the times it'll stun an enemy if you time it properly. It could be a very important thing to do. So that's really the combat of the game. Switching between weapons, using their special abilities, parrying, throwing the shield to break certain things, and shield dashing, okay? Now, the other gameplay aspect is the exploration and collectibles. Collectibles are huge in Doom: The Dark Ages. You've got your currency gold that you can use to buy upgrades for all of your weapons and your shield and your melee attacks and all of that. But in addition to that, there's special, more rarer items called rubies. And I even forget what the last one is, like a purple crystal. And those will get you the higher level upgrades for your weapons. Those are way more rare to find. Usually to get one, you have to solve a puzzle or find a big hidden area in order to get them. So you can kind of turbo through Doom the Dark Ages, not caring about any of that stuff, and the game will likely be harder by the end, and the game will be a much shorter experience. If you really take your time with Doom the Dark Ages to try to find all the content, it's actually, in my opinion, a more rewarding experience, and you get more out of the game, okay? Now, the plot of the game is kind of, how can I say? It feels like the fever dream of a teenager trying to write a fan fiction to explain the backstory of the Doomslayer. If you pay too much attention to it, you may get a headache. Some people really like it. Some people are like, are you kidding me? I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, I felt like Doom Eternal, because the story was kept to a bunch of text logs, it was kind of annoying. In this game, there's full-fledged cutscenes and segments of story. All right? So because of that, it's actually not as unbearable as like sitting there reading 700 text logs and listening to audio logs like it was in Doom Eternal. I think this was an improvement, but a lot of people have criticized the game saying Doom's not supposed to be about story. It's supposed to be rip and tear, destroy everything against all odds. So why do you care so much about the story, and why was it such a focus of this game? I won't spoil the story, but I'll just say it's kind of a backstory of how the humans were working with these maker aliens that kind of look like angels, and that's how they became what the humans were worshiping, and how there was a betrayal, and the Lord of the Underworld, who's a prince of evil, is trying to get this Heart of Argent to get superpowers, and then there's twists in the plot, and basically, at the end, it looks like all hope is lost, but then against all odds, the Doomslayer perseveres and is able to come back and save the day. All right? So, is it really that important? No, but if you're one of these people that likes lore, if you want to get the story of how did the Doom symbol, right? The symbol, where did it come from? What does it mean? Why is it that the Doomslayer can keep respawning, right? That's the kind of answers you'll actually get if you play through this game and you pay attention to the lore. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I liked about Doom the Dark Ages. The graphics were absolutely outstanding. I played it on PC, high settings. The game kicked ass, okay? Like, everything about the game looked gorgeous. The visual effects, the detail of the enemies, the environments, the guns, the weapons, all of it. Absolutely great graphics on my gaming PC. So 2 thumbs up for that. I would say the combat, to some extent, for example, I would argue the first 2/3 of the game, the combat is exceptionally good because you're always kind of finding something new or unlocking something different. You get a new weapon or a new version of a weapon, or you upgrade the weapon to get a new ability you want to use right away. You get a new melee attack that now is going to, destroy the enemies and turn them into a pile of disgusting gellulated flesh, right? Whatever gellulated means, I don't know. But yeah, it keeps it fresh, it keeps it interesting, it keeps it moving. The environments are varied as well. First, you start off in the human world, then you end up in hell. Later on, you end up in a third interesting dimension. So it's kind of cool how it keeps it moving between all of these locations. And I do like that. The first 2/3 of the game, the combat was absolutely outstanding, in my opinion. And I will say this, I actually like when they break it up to add in these extra segments of like walking in the mech or flying on the dragon. Some people apparently criticized the game and said they didn't like those, that it didn't fit Doom. But for me, those served as ways to break it up. If you just had every single stage the same kind of thing, Doom, 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 it might get boring. In fact, for me, that's what happened with Doom Eternal. It became too samey every single chapter, and because there was nothing to break it up, it actually bothered me and I got bored of the game. In this game, those segments break it up and make it feel more varied and interesting. And I actually really liked that about the game. Okay? Now, what are my criticisms of the game? I do have a few. All right? Number 1, in this game, it basically will, at times, not always, definitely it would be unfair for me to say it always happens. This game will purposefully present you in a situation where you're going to get attacked from different directions, and there's just no way to know what's coming at you. So you kind of need to stay in a free-flowing situation. What I mean by that is, you can't just play it like old school Doom. You literally can't. If you do, you're going to die, because enemies will keep appearing behind you and killing you. You have to stay on your toes. You have to be moving at all times, using that shield dash very effectively, because you never know when they're going to be spawning a second or third wave of enemies in your area, and you don't even know where they are, and ouch, right? You get swatted or squished like a bug. It is annoying. The most annoying enemies in the game, I'm serious, the invisible imps. because they're almost not visible in the environment, and they'll just walk up and hit you, and you're like, that is so cheap. The stupid imp comes out of nowhere and hits you, and they take giant chunks of your health off. You get frustrated, okay? So, number one, some people might like that. For me, I don't know. I like the fact that in a certain game, when you beat a wave of enemies, you feel like, okay, I have a second to catch my breath. And you can't really get that in this game until the music stops playing. When the music stops playing, you actually know you've fully cleared an area, which is actually a helpful tool. But it is very frustrating when you get hit by cheap stuff that you can't see. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to avoid what I can't see and hear? Like, I don't get it. I would have had to know that there was another wave of enemies coming from behind to survive. So it's almost like you intended me to die, right? And then replay it. So that's number one. Number two. Hold on one second. My mouth is dry. There are some really unbalanced parts of the game. What I mean by that is that there'll be like an optional challenge room that out of nowhere throws a ridiculous gauntlet of enemies at you, and you might not even be prepared for it. Maybe you don't have a revive on hand. You don't have the, the things you need, and you're expected to beat this challenge room, and it'll be like 2 mini bosses, a bunch of normal enemies, 2 more mini bosses, a bunch of normal enemies, an armored guy, plus another guy with a shield, mini boss, mini boss, mini boss, and then finally the room ends. What's your reward? Oh, a collectible figurine. No exaggeration, the hardest part of this game was a collectible figurine room. It took me like 40 minutes to beat this room. And I just didn't understand why it was so tough. Out of nowhere. It didn't seem even in line where we were. We were in the final third of the game, but it wasn't the final stage or anything. So why was that in there, and why was it so difficult? And there's parts of the game that are like that, where all of a sudden there's like a giant difficulty spike, and then it goes back to normal. It's not tough anymore. It's like, so I do feel like with balance, there's a few issues there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just they had these challenge rooms designed, and then they had to figure out where to fit them into the game. And some of them they just had to squeeze in and didn't really fit, but they just wanted to put them in anyway. I don't know. But I would say my biggest criticism of the game, all right, is when you get to the final third, the game kind of sputters and runs out of stuff to tell. Like the story kind of sputters, and there's multiple filler stages that aren't really needed. They don't really serve a purpose besides more gameplay. And the game starts to feel really drawn out and padded by the end. It seems to kind of overstay its welcome. Now, that's my opinion. You may disagree. The thing for me is I really enjoyed when every single stage we were getting a new weapon, a new ability, something was unlocking, or I was upgrading and getting a new thing for a weapon that I could now utilize. When you get to the final third of the game, you already got everything. You got all the weapons, you got all the upgrades, you're good. So now it's like, so now all I'm doing is kind of just tearing through enemies, but I'm not really caring that much anymore. The plot isn't really happening that much. Like, there's not much going on in it. So you just kind of get to a point where you're like, this is kind of boring. And then it's like, well, guess what? Another stage and another stage and another stage. And these aren't short stages. These are like hour to an hour and a half long stages. And you're like, oh. So for me, it's quality over quantity. I said this during the playthrough. I feel that Doom: The Dark Ages would be a better game if it was 15 hours long, but always had something new and exciting going on, and then you just had the final bosses and it ended. Then the development cost would have been way less, and they would have charged less for it. Maybe if it was a $40 or $50 game that's 15 hours long. Instead, it ends up being a 20 to 25 hour long game if you're looking for all the content, because you could just coast through it and look for no side content and beat it in like 10, 15 hours. But if you're looking for everything, it's going to take you longer. So it ends up being a longer game, right? But a lot of the content near the end just feels like it drags on too much. It's meandering. A lot of the final challenges are just ridiculously annoying, like over the top level of difficulty. Giant. I remember you get on a ship, and the ship, you're on the deck, and you have to kill, I'm not kidding, it's like 4 waves of enemies, and then a super powered armored dude in the back. And it's like, oh my God, it's like a 15-minute segment to get through this. It takes too long, and you just get tired of it. You know, like at one point, like I just want advancement or something significant to happen, not just keep killing enemies. And that's what happens, is the game gets kind of bogged down by its own length. If it had more quality, less quantity, I feel like it would have been a better game overall. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. I liked it more than Eternal. I do think that the gameplay elements of breaking it up with the mech, the dragon, the shield actually make it a better game than Eternal. Eternal, I got bored way sooner. This game, I didn't really get bored or feel tedious until like the end. Okay. So, overall, what do I think of Doom Eternal? It's quite a good game. If you like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, excuse me, I meant to say Doom the Dark Ages, not Doom Eternal. Doom the Dark Ages is a good game. If you like the previous two, you're gonna like this one. Okay? There are some things that aren't perfect, but at the same time, I think they put in some good effort. I think some people are wondering, why is it not being universally praised? Well, a couple of reasons. There's some design choices that changed here. For example, it's set supposedly in the Dark Ages, the medieval times. But what's hilarious about that is there's no sword. I want you to think about this. Doom the Dark Ages. You are a knight using a shield, fighting to save the universe, but you don't have a sword. What? There was a sword in the previous Dooms. Why would there not be a sword in the game about the Dark Ages? It would have made sense to have a sword and shield to be like a knight, but no sword. It blew my mind. I was waiting till the end of the game. I was like, where's the sword? And there was no sword. So that was kind of silly. But overall, oh yeah, there is one other big disappointment. The music isn't that good. The music is just passable. It's okay. There is literally not a single song in the game that's memorable that I remember. Like the first time I played Doom, and you start hearing some of those memorable tunes in Doom. That's it. You're gonna remember that for the rest of your life. You'll never get that Doom song out of your head. It's too memorable. The music in Doom, the Dark Ages, is very generic. It's kind of generic rock, and it's just like, and it's just there to be there. It's not that great. So overall, it's a good game. I like it better than Eternal, but honestly, out of this original trilogy from Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, Doom the Dark Ages, I still think Doom 2016 is the best one. Why? Because it plays most like classic Doom. It even has entire segments that are an homage to classic Doom. And it has a way more grounded story. Once they kind of went off the rails with the story in Eternal, it's kind of like you got to unplug your brain. Kind of like when you go to see one of these summer blockbuster popcorn movies. You know what I'm saying? You went to see the latest Ninja Turtles or Transformers or one of these crappy live action remakes that aren't live action because they're full of CGI. The only way you can really enjoy it is to unplug your brain. And then it's actually an enjoyable experience as long as you don't care, right? It's kind of how I feel what happened here with Doom. With 2016, it was like a rebooting. And you're like, oh, this is cool. New lore, new stuff. This is going to be excellent. And then they kind of go so crazy in some weird direction that you're like, I don't really care about this anymore. But I'll play it because it's fun to play, right? It's kind of how I feel about these games now. Like if they made another one, I would play it. But I'm not in love with them. I think that they were better off when they were more simple and more like old Doom. The moment that you start saying that you're some kind of a space god fighting angel aliens and demon invaders from another side dimension, everything becomes a multiverse. It's like, what is going on? I don't know where the simplicity went in gaming. It seems to have been lost for sure. But anyway, still a fun game. I think you'll like it, and I think you'll like it better than Eternal. But a lot of people disagree and seem to think that Doom Eternal is the best one. I completely disagree. I think it's the worst, but I guess I'm just a contrarian in that way. Okay? All right. That's what I think about Doom the Dark Ages. I'm glad it's done. Crazy gauntlet at the end of bosses and stuff. Very grueling, very challenging. I played it on ultra violence, so it was harder for me. I'm not someone who plays FPS games like that all the time, so it was extra challenging, but it was a good ride. Okay. All right, let's continue. We got some shout outs to do. So I received a $1.50 tip from Beaver Bother. Outdoor content would be beneficial and engaging, like a backyard barbecue. Yeah, we can't do a backyard barbecue. We're not allowed to barbecue in our yards. It was outlawed here last year. I'm not kidding. They fucking outlawed barbecuing in your yard, claiming that unless you're like an insanely long space away from the end of your yard, it's a fire hazard. So thank God I never bought a barbecue because it was outlawed here last year. Now, keep in mind, I just want you to think about this. Washington State has one of the highest crime rates in the entire country of the United States. We have more people stealing, committing car thefts, literally taking a stolen car and driving it through the front plate glass of a business, running in, stealing, and leaving. This is a rampant thing in our state. Crime is absolutely out of control, and our government really hasn't done much to fix that problem. But they had time to outlaw barbecues in your backyard. That was important to them. That was the big priority because, as you know, there was a massive epidemic of fires breaking out. Okay? Literally fires breaking out and killing people because they were cooking in their backyards. Didn't you hear about it? The Washington flaming apocalypse that happened last year? Yeah, it was awful. People were just spontaneously combusting right there in front of each other because they were backyard barbecuing. It was awful. So I'm so glad that they outlawed it. That's really, but I hate to say it, that's what an ineffective government does. You can really tell if a government is completely ineffective if they can't actually do meaningful changes. So instead, they just focus on really bad ones so that they look like they're doing something. The changes they'll make won't affect anyone in a positive way, but they don't care. It's just like, oh, we did something. See, we passed this, we passed this, we passed this. Yeah, but it doesn't help anyone. What about the things we really need you to help us with? That, oh, hands off. We can't do anything about those, right? No, it's not an HOA rule. It's an actual law, morning after kill. They actually outlawed backyard barbecues in Washington State, citing, I think they said you have to be like 12 plus feet away from the edge of your yard or fence, because if not, it's considered a fire hazard. Well, I don't have a 400-foot yard. I have a small one. So I've literally been outlawed from having a backyard barbecue. All right. Anyway, I received 6 gifted subs on Kick from your future stepdad. Thank you, your future stepdad. Let's get that on the leaderboard. Excuse me. That is the equivalent of $30 of support, okay? That means, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely, positively, 100% official. We just hit 80 goals. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a celebration. Thank you for supporting the Level 1 podcast. Thank you for supporting DSP Gaming. Thank you for allowing me to continue to be successful. Meaningful content, not harmful content, gameplay, discussion, social interactions, all things that add to a positive experience in life. That's what I do, and that's what you support, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much for allowing me to do what I truly love and have passion for a living. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you, and thank you again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as part of that celebration, today it will be DSP Tries It, Red Robin, for the very first time ever. I'll be ordering food from this restaurant, trying various different things. It's going to be an awesome episode that will take place after the gameplay segment on today's stream, okay? Very nice. I'm already being asked, what am I going to get? I know I'm getting the barbecue nachos. I know I'm going to get some kind of a burger. I know I'm going to get that specialty drink. That's what I know I'm getting, those 3 things. What burger, I don't know. I think some burgers would be good, like delivered, and others wouldn't. Like, for example, someone said, what about getting the Robin burger, the one that has the egg on top? I would love that, but you got to get that in person. If you get that delivered, that egg's either going to break and become a huge mess, or it's going to overcook on the way. So that's a no-go. So I'm being recommended the Scorpion burger. I saw that one. Doesn't that one have the breaded and fried jalapenos on top? That sounds interesting. That's one I would consider. I'll have to look into it. So anyway, yes, we are getting Red Robin today. It's going to be great. I cannot wait for Red Robin later today, right here on DSP Tries. It should be great. Okay, excellent. All right, we got that done. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate your support. I really do. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the next actual new release that I'm going to be covering. I am not going to be playing Onimusha 2 HD this week. Multiple reasons. Number one, I am juggling so many other games right now, including Blueprints, Expedition 33, and the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, along with chill night streams of Minecraft and American Truck Simulator. To put another game into the rotation, it's not going to make sense. It's just going to make it so difficult to get progress in anything I'm playing. But in addition, there's no way I would beat the game in a week. And the next major high-profile release comes out in a week. It is... Get my clone out of there. Elden Ring Night Reign. Okay? FYI, they have released the schedule, okay, of when you'll be able to play the game. First of all, you can preload the game 48 hours prior to launch on all 3 platforms, which is PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. What they're saying here is, on March, boy, I'm stupid. On May 29th, so you might say, what date is May 29th? Well, that is next Thursday, okay? The game will unlock at 9 p.m. for console players, but for PC players, hence me, I'll be playing it on PC, it unlocks 3 p.m. So you realize what that means. We can play Elden Ring Night Reign on the late night stream on Thursday the 29th. Yes, we can play it a little early. How cool is that? So likely what we'll do it as the night stream on Thursday and the day stream on Friday. So we'll get a good 5+ hours of gameplay in, if not more, that first, 24 hours. I'll probably still do Friday night fights on Friday night, but how cool is that? That's excellent. I'm very excited for that. So that's next week, FYI, in the schedule. It's a lock. Can't wait for it. All right, that's going to be fun. So Night Reign next week, Thursday night premiere, and I can't wait to play it on PC as well. I played the network test, and the network test was great. The network test was absolutely great. So I'm looking forward to the actual real game now. Okay, hope that you guys will join me for that next week. Now, after that, within a week of that is the release of the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World, the release of Elena and Street Fighter 6. Right after that is Summer Game Fest. Right after that is the Xbox Showcase. So expect the first week of June is going to be absolutely insane for gaming. There's going to be new consoles, new games, gaming news. Everything's going to be releasing all at once. Everyone's going to be crazy with games. And I'm excited for that. Obviously, it's going to be really, really cool. Right? It's going to be awesome. So I hope that you guys will be coming by and joining me for that fun that first week of June. Okay? So, will I be playing Onimusha 2 HD? The answer is yes, just not at release. I feel like we should save it for a time when we'll actually be able to play it at length and not have to be juggling 5-6 other games. Right now, this coming week, what I'm going to do is focus on... I'm doing this on purpose to annoy people, by the way. If you haven't noticed, I'm pulling my sleeves out. I'm like, watch this. I'm going to keep pulling it out. Anyway. I'm going to be continuing on with Expedition 33. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on Blueprints. We're going to have some more chill streams, and I hope to do an extra stream or two of Capcom Fighting Collection, so we can play a little bit more of that collection as well. All right? So we're going to save Onimusha 2. I will play it. I absolutely want to play it. But of all the games, this makes sense to delay this playthrough, being it's not a new game to begin with. It's a remaster, remake. It's not, the game's old. So it's not like, oh no, I'm not playing it when it's pertinent. It's pertinent whenever I decide to play it, and we'll save it for another time when we have more time for it. Okay? Okay. Cool. All right. Excellent stuff, guys. So I hope that gets you all excited. Now, what I would like to do, I have a series of trailers that I would like to watch. Some stuff that I've kind of been behind on, haven't really had a chance to watch yet. People have been telling me that this stuff is quite good. And I would like to watch some of these trailers live with all of you, do kind of a live react, see what I think, if any of these games interest me or interest you guys, or whatever you say. Okay? Fair enough? Very good. Oh, by the way, I already said, I'll say it again. Since we just hit 80 goals, thank you so much for your support. Looking forward to DSP tries it on this stream. The 90 goal reward is already set. Next week, Burger King is doing a how to train your dragon meal, including a special burger, like a special Whopper, a special drink, a new special side that's supposed to be like fiery mozzarella fries or something, and also a sundae. I'll be doing that whole menu as the 90 goal reward. DSP tries it. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So let's get started, shall we? Here we go. The first trailer that I would like to watch today is called Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. I know nothing of this game, but it was recommended that I watch this trailer today. So here we go. For the first time ever, let's see what this game is all about. Tainted Grail. Ouch, that looks painful. It kind of reminds me of, does it not remind you of Elder Scrolls? Looks like Elder Scrolls, right? It looks like an Elder Scrolls mod.
The truth about all this would have broken my people.
He's fishing. Cool. I'm already sold. If there's fishing, I got to play this game. If there any game with fishing, it's by default I have to play it. Okay. So you know what this kind of looks like? This looks like Elden Ring and Elder Scrolls. Elder Ring Scrolls or Elder Scrolls Ring. Elden Scrolls. Elden Scrolls. That's what I'm calling it. This game I'm going to call it Elden Scrolls. There you go.
Me? Of course I'm human.
He was the final
ASMR in your ear.
through darkness.
Yeah, Elden Scrolls.
I am Arthur Pendragon. I led humans to Avalon shores. I built the great halls of Camelot.
He was the man beneath the crown.
Ooh, zombies.
The voice that doubted. The heart that
This looks good, does it not?
beneath the weight.
This looks good to me. The music is weird though.
I need to save this realm. This is my vow.
It's out? Wait, it's out? It's out? I had no idea it was out. It came out? Oh. Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon is already out. Wow. Well, I don't have time to play it. I don't have time to play it. But I do have time to say, it's a Tainted Grail. Play The Fall of Avalon. Wow. I didn't even know this was out. Did anyone even know that this had been released? It came out today? Oh. It came out today. Oh, yeah, 4 hours ago. Interesting. I wonder if it's any good. How much is it? I'm gonna watch this in a sec. So Tainted Grail. It's $45. $45 for Tainted Grail. And there's even a demo. Wow. It looks good. Right? It looks good to me. I would consider this in the future. Especially right now I don't have time, but maybe this is something to play. It looks pretty good. All right? So Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon. I'll put it on my wish list so I can remember to look at this later. It looks really good. Okay? All right, that's one down. Alcahest? Okay. Let's play this in Steam, I guess. Alcahest. It's not out yet. This one is to be announced when it's coming out, okay? Whoa. This looks like over-the-top action. Like you can bounce and throw stuff like that. There's no way this is the real gameplay. This is totally pre-rendered. Yeah, I don't believe that at all. That's it? That's it. That's all they show. 44 seconds. Here's another one. Oh, this is 2 minutes. Here we go. Put an ice potion on the sword. Whoops. Watch your step. So here's the thing. So the Tainted Souls, what was it called? Not Tainted Souls, Tainted Grail. That totally looked like Elden Scrolls. It did. It looked like Elden Ring and Elder Scrolls together. This just kind of looks like maybe what you would have wanted Avowed to be. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have the crappy color scheme. It looks more gritty. But it kind of maybe this is what we wanted Avowed to be, and maybe this is the game then. Let's see. But again, I don't buy the gameplay. This doesn't look like real gameplay to me. This looks like it's all pre-rendered. Like, you know how you could see an animation in a game, it looks the same every time? You notice that everything here looks unique? So it feels to me like this, they purposely made this one time to say this is what the game will be when it comes out. But this is not actually the game engine. This is just like pre-rendered stuff. That's my take anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. See, every combat thing is different. You notice that? Nothing looks repetitive at all. And that makes no sense. In video games, things are very repetitive. There's certainly not going to be a unique combat animation every time you swing your sword. I think it's crazy you can just pick up and throw stuff like that. And the level of like parkour platforming is pretty neat. Ew. See what I mean? Like, none of that. Did any of that legit look like how it's going to go down in the game? Probably not. So here's the thing. This is still in pre-development, right? So it's to be announced. Doesn't have a release date yet. It looks good to me, like from what I'm seeing. The premise of what we're seeing looks good. It looks like probably what we wanted from Avowed, and we didn't get from Avowed, right? But I don't know if I buy that that's what the game's actually going to be. That looks too good to be true, you know? It does. It looks like way too good, too much production value in there for that to be the real game, right? Queen of Hearts says maybe it's a VR game. Maybe. It doesn't say that, though. Okay. Continuing on. We have a bunch to look at today. There's just one displacement. Here, let's check this one out. Okay, hold on. Let's see what this is. Displacement. Here we go. We've got a horror game, I think.
Bishop.
Obelisk? Who's Obelisk? Did they make anything?
I have arrived at Rubicon Station to assess the psychological state of the staff. Terrible things are happening here.
Hold on a
Things
second.
I have to do to escape this hell.
If you were showing up somewhere to evaluate the psychological state of the staff of a business, and there was blood and dead bodies everywhere, would you continue in? And why would you show up by yourself? Why wouldn't you you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you have people with you in order to, you know what I mean? Like, maybe some law enforcement or something. I just showed up by myself, and I just happened to get sucked into this hellish nightmare, you know, dreamscape gore fest. Very, very unfortunate, right? Okay. Ultraviolet. Hey, at least they tell you right up front. Ultraviolet. Brutal. All right. Game. It's a game as well. It's ultra violent, it's brutal, and it's a game. Displacement. Oh, how nice. Back in your child's bedroom. All right, so I would say this looks like a combination of Dead Space and Outlast. Does it not? It has vibes of both. I feel like it's Dead Space and Outlast kind of squished together, but it's first person, so it plays like Outlast, but it has Dead Space vibes to it. Beat up the old man. The most powerful enemy in the game, the old shirtless man.
So there you are.
BioShock? Yeah, I see some BioShock vibes too, sure. Oh, is that it? Oh, dudes, a lot of these trailers are really short. I'll add that to the wish list. That's another one to be announced. No idea when it's going to come out. But looks pretty interesting. I like the idea behind it. Okay, the last thing. This is what someone had just recommended. This Fantasy Life. Look at this. Cutesy. Cutesy game. The Girl Who Steals Time. What a jerk. How dare you steal my time? Proto-Beetle Baller. Oh, look at that. Kind of reminds me of Secret of Mana. Chop down the tree. There's cooking. Yeah, look, there's a cooking minigame in it. Skill tree. Oh, look at this. Nap Dragon. So it must be a boss. 14 unique lives. Like people were saying, the lives are jobs that you can do in the game. Explore dungeons with companions. I believe in you. Stone Golem. What's that, Mary Poppins? What's going on there? Exciting multiplayer, so 4 people can play together. Legendary Don Woolley. Did it just say shiny poop? Shiny poop exists, it say. The Royal Yummy Stew. The quest for Royal Yummy Stew begins. Jeez, how long is this trailer? We're almost done. New adventures await at every turn. Flea? F-L-I? Flea? Oh, Fantasy Life I. The Girl Who Steals Time. It looks like a combination. It's a combination of like a sim game with like resource management, but then it also is an RPG that has combat. So it's kind of a hybrid. It's available right now. Level 5? What else did Level 5 make? Because their art style looks very familiar to me. Let me see. Yeah, I never seen these. What's going on? Oh, it's playing in here now, too. We can close that. All right, well, here's the thing. A game like that seems like a time sink. So, for example, that game would be good if we were looking for like a late night chill stream game that we were going to play over a period of time and do like a slow burn game. That definitely doesn't feel to me Like, that would be the kind of game is for, like, a full playthrough that we would try to get through on, like, day streams, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we're not looking for a new late night chill game, so I would say we're, not interested now, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be interested in the future. Looks all right. It's expensive, though. It's like $60, that game. So, FYI. Did they? They made Yokai Watch and Ni no Kuni? Oh, they did? Ah, okay. All right, so they really like that art style then. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. That's what I got for today's show. Let's open it up to a little bit of Q&A. Please tag me in the chat if you want to talk. We'll see what you guys want to talk about today, what topics are up for discussion, and we'll go from there. If we end up not doing too much, then we can end earlier here. Okay, we'll see. Level 5 did Dragon Quest back in the day, Dragon Quest 8 and stuff, and also Dark Cloud games. Okay. Interesting. Cool. No, I'm not dropping blueprints. You can stop your nonsense right now. I'm not dropping the game. How dare you even suggest such a thing? Digibig says, I remember you used to be a bit of a film buff. What are some of your favorite movies? I would say, like, my favorite comedies of all time are from the 80s. Movies such as Ghostbusters, or, like, anything that has, like, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, John Candy. He was huge. I loved all the John Candy movies of that era. Really good stuff. That kind of stuff are some of my favorite comedies. Dramas, at one point I would have said, like, Saving Private Ryan was probably my favorite drama. But I've seen many over the years. Memorable movies. Oh, I almost forgot Clue. I almost didn't mention the movie Clue. Clue is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's such a well-written comedy, and no one even talks about it. I didn't even realize it, but Clue was a flop. When the movie Clue came out, it came out the same weekend as, like, this giant other popular blockbuster movie, so it got completely destroyed, but it ended up being a cult favorite after the fact. Yeah, Uncle Buck. Oh, that's a great movie. Uncle Buck. Super funny and great, well-written movie. What's the best job I've ever had? This job right here. This job is my dream job, man. I get to do what I want, right? Play the games I want, the content I like, hanging out with you guys. You guys love what I stand for, the content I make. You support it. I absolutely love this job. Green Heart says, I'm excited to see the next Mission Impossible movie. It comes out this weekend. I think it'll be the last one. Did I like them? I've only seen 2. I saw the very first one, and I really liked that one. And then I saw the sequel, and I thought the sequel was just kind of weird and not as good. And I have never seen another one. I know there's like 7 of them now, right? Or 8. I've only seen the first 2. Digibig says, did you know when Clue released in theaters, they showed 3 different versions with 3 different endings? Well, the movie has 3 endings. When you watch the movie today, it has all 3 endings. It plays all 3, and then it rolls credits. So, I don't know. I didn't know if they didn't show people the other ending. That's kind of stupid, I feel. Because I'll say one of the endings is pretty weak, and the true ending is actually the best one. Who did I prefer out of Steve Martin, Martin Short, or Chevy Chase? Oh man, come on. Why are you asking me? That's a ridiculous question. They're all. Oh, by the way, I can unpin all these now, all these messages because we hit the goal. Thank you guys. They're all great, right? Like who can deny Steve Martin, one of the best acting jobs and like comedic performances ever in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, right? And playing off of John Candy, oh my God. It's like that's like a flawless performance, quite frankly, right? But then you got Martin Short, who was like the MVP of, how can I say, like he was never really like the big starring role guy, but he really shined as like a supporting character, Martin Short. Seeing him in Three Amigos, amazing. And he did lots of cool character work over the years, right? Chevy Chase, the freaking National Lampoon Vacation movies are insanely good. Just insanely, insanely good, over the top good. And he actually did a good job in many different movies as well. Just that most people know the vacation movies. Stephen Martin are a bundle deal. See, I've seen Clifford with Martin Short. Yes, I have. That's what the one where he's an adult, but he plays like a child. He's really obnoxious. Yeah. Oh, God. Now you remember it. Oh. I remember that movie, how obnoxious he is in that movie. I hate Kick Chat. It's because you guys don't tag me and don't talk to me about anything. Like right now, no one is tagging me and talking to me. So why would I talk to you guys? Everyone on the YouTube chat is tagging me. How do you tag me? I just typed in the chat. Now you can tag me. You can click on my name and you can address me. Is game chat on Switch 2 a selling point for me? No, I'm never going to use it. I will never use game chat. Why would I ever want to use that feature? It's stupid. I'm not dropping blueprints. You can stop spamming the chat. If you do that again, I'll just remove you. Mom and Dad Save the World. That does not ring a bell. I don't think I saw that one. Why am I so stinky? Because I cover myself in very robust aromatic oils and perfumes. If you don't know, they're called cologne. Every day I'm wearing a new cologne. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm very stinky because of it. Did I ever see Clifford the Big Red Dog? No, but I've seen the books. Like I know that it started as a book. It was a big children's book at one point. Does my office stink? No, it does not. I have a plug-in air freshener in here, and I have the air purifier running. I do not have a favorite cologne. I like many. I prefer many. Did I watch any of the recent Alien franchise movies like Prey or Romulus? I saw... Let me think about this. I saw up to the one that was the sequel to Prometheus, but I can't remember what the name of that one was. Whatever the sequel of Prometheus was, I saw that. That's the last Alien movie I've seen. Anything after that, I have not seen. Dapan says, I hope you buy a Switch 2 camera to see how shite it is in person. You wouldn't be able to, right? Like, I don't know. First of all, everything Switch 2 needs to be heavily pre-ordered. Like, I saw this really cool version of the camera that looks just like this. It looks like the Piranha Plant, but it's on pre-order and it doesn't come out till late June. So what might happen is, like, everyone gets their Switches at launch, but then a whole bunch of peripherals are going to be coming out after the fact that you'll be able to test. And maybe if I end up getting a Switch 2 at launch, which I hope I do, but I don't know, then maybe I'll order some peripherals for it. And then when they come out in late June, we could test some of them, right? Stay Tuned. Yes, I saw the movie Stay Tuned. That's a, oh God, what was his name? John Ritter. John Ritter was in that one. He was sucked into a demon TV. That's a crazy movie. Yes, I said the office was stinky a month ago. Remember, that's when I had just put in the air conditioner and it was smelling kind of like yucky. I didn't have the air purifier yet, and I didn't have the plug-in air freshener yet. Now I do, and now the office smells good. It's done. What happened is, you don't use the air conditioner for like a year and it builds up, stuff. It's cleared itself out now. Yes, I know. Yes, Steve Martin and Martin Short are still working together on a show. Isn't it like a hybrid comedy, mystery, horror, not horror, but murder show? So it's like a murder mystery with a lot of comedy elements. Is it called like Only Murders in the Building or something like that? I haven't seen it. I saw a lot of promotion for it when it first came out a couple of years ago. Am I picking up Mafia of the Old Country? Yes, I am. Do I ever use Febreze? We do have Febreze in the house if needed. We have it. Yes, I played Apex Legends when it was new. I played it for a few months. I had a team. We teamed up and we won many times. And it kind of got boring after like a month or two of playing it. And I didn't want to play it ever again. I never went back. So I haven't played it since like it came out. Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics. I loved that game. It was on Game Boy Advance. It was super good. But I don't know if it's available anywhere now because it was a handheld game, right? What is the lighting theme? It's supposed to be color wave, where basically there's a wave of color going back and forth behind me that's like varying. So what's happening is the light is going back and forth, like zoop there, and then it goes back, and then it goes back and forth. It's kind of cool. Thank you, John. 14 months as a member. He said, Blueprints is the best. It needs to be a daily play. Wow. Wants me to play it daily. I don't think people would put up with it daily, but, you know, I do want to play it more next week for sure. What's a gaming franchise I want a revival of? You would like to see Ape Escape Digipix? I've already said I would like a remaster or continuation of the whole Infamous storyline. I don't know what happened to it, that it disappeared. I also would like more BioShock, and I do believe they are making more BioShock right now. Have I ever watched Kenny versus Spenny? I don't even know what that is, so no, never heard of it. Infamous versus Prototype. I like Infamous a lot more. First of all, Infamous actually was a much better looking and performing game. Prototype was fun, but it ran like crap on console. It really did. Like it had issues where it would chug along, right? And Prototype had a good premise. I think the sequel sucked. I think the first game was better than the sequel, while Infamous actually got better with the sequel, I feel. Oh, that'd be a cool game concept. Infamous versus Prototype. Oh, man. Do I ever think we'll get a new Superman game? It would make sense, but I don't know why no one touches it. It's so bizarre. It's been so long since we had a Superman game, and I don't know why. Especially now, Superman's coming back. There's going to be a whole new movie series, so you would think that would be the time, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get it. No, I've never skateboarded. Have I ever farted and barked at the moon? No, but I've farted at the moon and barked. Yes, we've been to Bath & Body Works before. Bath & Body Works is okay, but the problem with Bath & Body Works is none of their stuff lasts. Like, for example, they have body spray. Oh, great. You buy it, you spray it, it lasts like 10 minutes, and then it's gone. You don't smell it anymore. It's not like you're buying perfume or cologne, but their prices, you know, they're not charging the cost of perfume or cologne, but it's just not really worth it for the price of their stuff. Why is my desk lumpy like it has cancer? My desk? What are you talking about? This? Oh, this. You're talking about my wrist rests. My wrist rests look like puffy clouds. Yeah, they're squishy wrist rests. They're nice. They're actually really good for gaming. Yes. It's not cancer, it's clouds. They're very squishy. So I looked, yeah, NJZ says, did you look into chair covers? What color are you going to get? I looked into it. It doesn't look like anyone really sells the bright colors I need. Like, I need a neon color that I would never wear on my clothes. That way I can select that color in a chroma key and cut it out. But basically, what they do is they sell ones that look like decent office furniture. Like, you can get brown or gray or silver or a burgundy or like a lilac, right? Lilac, however you pronounce it. I don't even know. But those colors aren't good for chroma key. For chroma key, you need like a bright color to select. so that the camera can easily figure it out and apply the effect. So I was looking into it, and I couldn't even find something better than this. So I might just buy this with a bigger size. But yeah, I couldn't find a better one. Unless anyone has a recommendation, you know. I have been to Dave & Buster's a couple of times, yes. If anyone has a recommendation with the whole, background removal tool chroma key thing, I'm open to a suggestion. Like I said, I couldn't really find anything better than what I already have. So, is Dave & Buster's fun or a waste of time? If you're going there on like a date and you and your date are going to have a few drinks, play a few games while buzzed, and then sit down and eat some food, it's great. If you take it super seriously, the arcade is usually all right. But I think it's an accentuated experience for the fact that they have like silly drinks with weird flavors and names, and then you can get like a burger, you have some food. What do I like more, Round 1 or Dave & Buster's? Well, Round 1 is more of a serious arcade. Round 1 has a ton of different games, but they also have like real serious games like Bimani games, music games, arcade games like fighting games, shooters, stuff like that. Dave & Buster's is more kind of like just get buzzed and play ticket games. That's kind of the focus. Yeah, that is true. A lot of arcades now have mobile games turned into arcades. Like they have that bird game. What's the name of it? I can't remember what it's called. The one where the bird, you have to press the button and it keeps flying. They have an arcade version of that. They have an arcade version of a whole bunch of mobile games. Flappy Bird, yes. Flappy Bird, the arcade game. As stupid as that sounds, they have that. All right, guys, this has been a great stream. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. We actually had some interesting topics to cover on the show today. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, tomorrow I will not be here. It is my day off. I return on Sunday with a Fun Return podcast, a major stream of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and a late night chill stream of Minecraft. I believe it's Minecraft. Yes. So that's going to be a very fun day on Sunday, return day. Nice, relaxing stuff all day. Although I say relaxing, Expedition 33 has become very challenging with the amount of parrying I've had to do. But but it's a great game. So I hope you'll join me for that. Thank you guys for the early support. Cannot wait for DSP Tries It for the first time ever, Red Robin today. I appreciate you all, your great audience. Now, I hope that some of you will stick around for Blueprint's advancement. If not, I'll hopefully see you tonight for Friday Night Fights, Capcom versus SNK 2. If not, I'll see you back on Sunday, all right? Thank you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.